for sure.
It's amazing to think that this is an Antonio Conte that on match day one said, I came to Napoli and I was looking for something positive and I couldn't find anything, right? Who was it? Was it Verona match day one? 3-0. And you're thinking, I'm just thinking from a dressing room standpoint, how the heck do players get over that? I mean, he basically tore the whole dressing room apart on match day one. And then you're talking about, 30 match days plus later on where they're in a restaurant dancing and singing with each other, right? I mean, it's an amazing job by a manager. And that's more than X's and O's. That's what we call managing. You're managing players. You're managing personalities. You're managing how you deal with everybody on a daily basis. Because if he'd have lost that dressing room, no one would have argued, right? He said, well, players don't want to hear that. They don't want to listen to that about themselves. But what an incredible job. It's not over yet, but he's getting close.
But he knows when to push and when to pull for me.
Obviously, they don't have to worry about Champions League. They'll do that next year. But it's Genoa at Parma, and then the last one against Cagliari on the last day of the season. So I think they have an easy run. And today was a little bit of a tricky one for Napoli, right? Playing Lecce at home. Even though they haven't been great at home, they were fairly organized. They gave Napoli all they could handle. So nothing changes in the point spread, but we get a game closer to the last day of the season, so it makes it even more difficult.
Earlier you said, Marco, one hand on the trophy. Are you saying two now, or are you still saying one?
No, two would have been if Inter dropped points. Then I think that could have been it. Inter also has some tricky fixtures at the end of the season. Como, who, for example, Como is 10th place in the Serie A. It's an incredible story. They don't care that they're already safe. They're not a team like Udinese or Torino who's not going to be motivated. They want to play their football. Fabregas wants to show to the world. So that's a tough game. Lazio's a tough game. But I just think that when I look at Napoli, they need 7 points from these 3 matches. So 2 wins and a tie would be enough for them to do it. And the way that Conte is, I've said it a while before, that Conte in the concluding months of the Campionato of the Serie A, he has a 90% win record in April.
Marco says one hand on the trophy. I say one hand on the trophy, and they're leaning in with the other hand, just getting ready to grab it right now, because I really don't see them. Of course, there's a possibility. This is a crazy game, but I don't see them slipping up, especially given the fact that they don't give up goals. This is a really organized side.
Parking the autobus, 17 clean sheets they've had. That's the most in Europe's top 5 leagues. That took me by surprise, Grella, when you think of all the top teams that are competing on all these fronts, to think that Napoli is at the top in terms of defensively in that aspect.
They started the season that way. They were really difficult to play against and really organized. And that's why we also said, well, there's no way. Everyone said there's no way, except for Marco, there's no way you can keep this up, because they were struggling to score goals. 1-0 here, 1-0 there. But the thing that they do really well is that they're on the same page. They defend as a unit. They'll go and press the football at times. It was a big slew of games